What is up? Welcome to the NBA Rundown, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Astaire, joined today by Tyler Hicks. And Tyler, as exciting as the NBA was last night, I got to ask you some questions about the NCAA tournament. Man, can you believe that John Calipari and his AAU style of college basketball program did not win again? I mean, let's not worry about strategy. Let's not worry about complementary pieces. Let's just get five guys, have them get highlights, drafted to the league, and lose in the first round. What is up with the Kentucky Wildcats?
Just looking at this box score spread, these guys that are supposed to be lottery picks, like, okay, the one kid we talked about yesterday, Shaden Sharp, didn't play, so we can't really give him shit.
Okay.
But like Ty Washington, who they had getting drafted into the top 10, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 for 10 from the field. It's supposed to be your best player, didn't show up. The big man, Oscar Tshiebwe, he showed up 30 points, 16 rebounds, but
there we go.
You can't do anything when you're the only guy out there. And the next highest score in that starting lineup was 11 points. They shot 4 for 15 from 3, while St. Peter shot 9 for 17. It's just a bad matchup, and Calipari couldn't adjust. Then they got the overtime.
I mean, does he coach or does he recruit? Because I don't see any actual strategy once the game starts.
I mean, to a point, I'd say he's definitely a better recruiter than a coach. But, like, he's taken some teams that looked bad in the beginning of years and molded them into something that, like, danced through the tournament for a little bit. But I just didn't think his team was built like that. They just didn't. I mean, they're going to say Ty Washington was the star, but I don't see it in them. And, like, this team was weirdly built. So, sucks they went down in the first round, but we see this happen every year.
And if I seem bitter about a sport that I don't really like follow or get too invested in, it's because, remember we did the show yesterday and we talked about all these prospects? Heck of them got knocked out yesterday, right? The kid from Iowa out. A couple guys from Kentucky out. One of them was for Wisconsin, already eliminated. So just a little disappointed there. Dave says that in Kentucky, fans are ready to send Calipari packing. Oh, wow.
I mean, it's one of them things, like, do you want to fire? I mean, I know he's only won 1 national championship and since he's been there, but I think it's like 3 Final Fours, 3 national championships, lost 2 of them. Like, where else are you going to go unless you go hire, like, one of the best coaches in the country?
I mean, you can run, like, a real program that actually tries to win the NCAA title, because right now it seems like Calipari is more worried about, I get the most guys into the NBA.
But they haven't even been getting the most guys into the NBA the last couple of years.
Well, that's what happens when you
like
don't win.
This was one of his most experienced teams. Like, a lot of these guys were transfers in, like, played college ball for a few years, and they just couldn't get it done. So once they have to overload on talent for him to be able to just stand out there and coach. Like, they didn't have that clear-cut NBA next-level guy that's just like, all right, give me the ball, the hell out of my way, I'm going to go get a bucket, like they had Cat and those guys.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they didn't have it this team this year, so better luck next year.
Yeah, all right. And like I said, I was just disappointed because I wanted to see some NBA prospects, and now I'm going to have to do even more. I won't be able to rely on experience when we have to do that NBA draft prep, which I always run through, and I don't do a great job, but I feel like it's necessary in order to properly talk about the NBA draft and then project what we're going to see after these teams have these rookies. Because, Tyler, you got to admit there's a lot of rookies making waves in the NBA, and not only rookies, but second-year players as well. The Pistons were able to get it done last night. Something I didn't think I'd be saying on the rundown this year. Sadiq Bey with a 50-point game. What do you think of that, Tyler?
I mean, that's just ridiculous. 50-point game. And the dude didn't even get on social media and brag about it. He just went home and went to bed. 22-year-old didn't even brag about a spread. Just was like, yeah, I dropped 50 points. I'm going home.
Which second-year player will be better, Sadiq Bey or Tyrese Halliburton?
Probably Halliburton.
Bey? Okay. If I asked that at the beginning of the year, right, you'd be like laughing at me, right? It's actually worth asking now. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I'm not going to take it off of one game, but Bey has played well. So I'm not going to say it's a giant difference, but I think Halliburton's still a better player.
Yeah, I think he is too, but I think it's closer than it was, and I'm really excited to see his development. Obviously he's not even going to be like a number two, right? But if he's ends up being like the fourth option on Detroit, that's not a bad deal, right? Because they're going to get a great draft pick this year. Hopefully they convert that one. Then you got Cade, you hopefully Bay at fourth. You're looking for that number three. You got a pretty good roster. So, we the people says Halliburton, not even close. Yeah, you're right. And all I'm doing is kind of that reactionary daily type of show content style deal. But I'm just really impressed with Sadiq Bey, and I was thinking how he went. I think he went 10 spots lower than Halliburton, and he's going to be a quality NBA player in my mind. So, great performance by him there, getting the win last night. But you know, the NBA's back at it tonight. So I didn't get it right. It's like, okay, it seems like, oh, they're getting out of the way for the tournament, but only the first day, like the second round isn't going today. Do they just think that everyone's getting tired of it after one day? Regardless, we have 12 games tonight. So Tyler, was there any other like general thoughts or hot takes we wanted to get out there before we dived into the games?
No, I mean, nothing really happened yesterday outside of the college game, so we could jump right into these 12 games.
All right, let's dive right in because yeah, it's going to be a long show today as we get through all these. This first game's fantastic. Just a fantastic game. The Dallas Mavericks heading to Philadelphia, take on the 76ers. Philadelphia laying 3 points, total of 217, plus 136 for the Mavericks on the money line. Let me refresh this report. That's how it is, right? We got to Joel Embiid's still questionable. Obviously, if Embiid's out, this is an easy pick, right? Let's say he plays. I think this number indicates that he's going to play. This has the teams even on a neutral. That's pretty close. I mean, I might have Philadelphia a point or two better. Not sure what to make of it. Let's get your thoughts, Tyler, on the 76ers and the Mavericks.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good matchup. Dallas plays some really good defense. You look at their defense the last 5 games, they rank 6th in opponent field goal percentage, 2nd in opponent's 3-point percentage. They're 5-0 straight up in their last 5 on the road spread. So this team could definitely win outside of Dallas. Mm-hmm. They also took that game plan against Brooklyn, and they kind of double teamed KD when he would catch the ball on certain drives and force them the shots he didn't like. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to try that same defensive scheme here with Embiid and just kind of make Harden beat you, because I don't think he's the same guy off the dribble anymore. So I'm going to side with Dallas here. I think they get a nice defensive scheme here, and Luka gets the job done. I could see him absolutely bullying them here because they're not going to have a guard that can stop him. And maybe Embiid just overpowers him down low, but I think they'll be able to throw enough defensive schemes at him and slow him down. So give me Dallas plus the 3.5 and the money line.
You like the money line? Because I was going to ask you, when you said you like Dallas, is it with the points or the money line? I'm fine taking the money line here. I mean, obviously we could have another buzzer beater affair, but it'll be really interesting. Any worries about a letdown after that fantastic game against Brooklyn?
I mean, there could be, but it's not the next game like the next day, you know what I mean? So they had a day off to recoup. I think they'll be fine.
All right. So Tyler likes Dallas there. I had the line too close to really see an advantage on my numbers. Like I said, I had Philadelphia like 1.5 ahead. But, I don't know. Not a huge edge when I think there's a situational advantage for Dallas. Not to mention, I'm not making this bet and then Embiid sits and I'm throwing stuff around my house on a pro. No, I'm not going to do that. All right, Denver Nuggets, minus 2.5 in Cleveland, taking on the Cavaliers. Total of 226, plus 126 for the Cleveland Cavaliers on the money line here. Of course, we got to always double check these injury reports. Not much. Rondo's still out. We've kind of expected that. Zeke Naji, questionable. Developmental-wise, that's too bad for the Nuggets, according to the spread. Doesn't mean much to me. I like Denver here, man. This Cleveland team really struggling with injuries. It almost feels like there's a curse on that city. Maybe they'll get rid of Baker Mayfield. That could actually help the city in my mind. But, when it comes to the basketball team here, first they lose Rubio, right? Colin Sexton. Jared Allen going down, I think, is big. I think his veteran presence really helped Mobley kind of be versatile, but he can clean up the messes, right? Without Jared Allen to clean up the messes, Mobley's great for his development, right? To see the accountability. of all his actions, especially like when he gets a little aggressive there on the defensive end. But for tonight, Denver will be able to take advantage of that. Not to mention, right, he just had to go against Embiid. Now he got to go against Jokic. Maybe we'll ask him who's the MVP after the game, right? How much should the voters put into that? Let's get Evan Mobley's opinion. But, a tough couple of nights to be without Jared Allen. I like the Nuggets on the road, laying the points. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking Nuggets or pass in this one. I mean, the Cavs have just been in a slump. They don't have the defensive guys that they had before with these injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And you look, I mean, I know it's just Rondo and Dean Wade out, but those are guys that are playing rotation minutes for them. And now you got to go to these other guys that aren't that
Dean
good.
Wade almost means more to me right now. Even though he doesn't do anything in the box score.
Yeah, he's a starter, so now you got to replace those minutes. So, yeah, Denver pass for me. And at this short number, you can get Jokic double-double and win at about even money. You should be able to walk into 25 and 12 here. So I'm going to take that double-double and win and throw the 3 points out the window.
Okay, and at first I was, going to do that Pikachu shocked face. But let's be honest, it's only moving it down 42 cents.
Yeah.
Because it's minus 142 on the money line. So I that number seems about right there. I like both, though, because I like Denver to win. So, and I think he does get the double-double. So might as well put them together.
I'm playing
and get a
it safe.
extra.
I can take the double-double at even money. I don't want him to 28, 14, and 9 me and not get me the triple-double. So sticking with the double-double.
Yeah. And I do not think it'll be a blowout. Very surprising. But we noticed that he is tailoring his minutes in those blowouts. So,
yep.
Something to keep an eye on, especially when you're doing the daily fantasy and you're doing the props. Who gets the run in blowouts? LeBron James. Who doesn't? Nikola Jokic, right? Because LeBron is the kid from Akron chasing Kareem, and Jokic, they're going to need him for the playoffs. Hold on one second. Excuse me. Portland Trailblazers plus 14.5 in Brooklyn, taking on the Nets. Total of 227 plus 900 for the Portland Trailblazers. Tyler, on this show, a lot of times, right? Especially if our numbers are coming pretty close or we feel like the numbers aren't even an accurate reflection of the games, the ones that we're creating, we just take the points in these situations, right? Not so fast. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but the Trailblazers' last 7 losses, average of 29.7. That's how much they lose by. Unbelievably bad, this Portland Trailblazers team. Hey, do we commend them for finally embracing the tank, right, and getting that top pick to put next to Damian Lillard? Yes, we do. But as bad as we know, this team is a fade. They got blown up by the Knicks. They're coming off, what, a 30-point loss to the Knicks? The Knicks are like, what, 25 and 38 or something?
That's not good.
26 and 40, something like that. Oh my gosh. Give me anyone playing the Trailblazers at this point, especially the Brooklyn Nets. I'll take the minus 14.5.
Yeah, give me the team that ranks first and second in field goal and 3-point percentage over the last 5 games. I mean, they're going to come out and light them up. So, I mean, of course, you want to back KD's props here, but you also got to play that with the knowledge of if they get up 35, he might go to the bench and not play much. So, they have a 30-plus points.
If I'm the Nets, I want that, man. He played 40 against Dallas.
Yeah, that's the thing I worry about betting his props. But seeing Seth Curry finally coming back, I don't hate taking a 15-plus point in Brooklyn win on him at plus 120. You could do 4 plus 3s and Brooklyn wins for Seth Curry. That gets you plus 265. And I even wouldn't hate taking like a Bruce Brown double-double and win. Because I think this is a spot where he could rack up a ton of rebounds too. And we've seen him fill up a box score, so that's going to be my way of approaching this game. But I just think Brooklyn wipes the floor with them. I wouldn't hate doing one of those alt spreads up to like minus 19.5.
I mean, they've lost by 29 points per game over the last 7. Just unbelievably bad. So, sometimes we say, oh, these teams are taking an opportunity to prove they belong in the NBA. Well, I don't even know if these guys are even proving they belong in the G League. So it's been rough to be a Blazers fan. The Los Angeles Lakers heading to Toronto to take on the Raptors up in Canada, minus 8.5 for the Raptors. Total 224.5 for this game, plus 316 if you want to go on the kid from Akron here. The Raptors, they got the win. It was what? I think it was 11-point win in Los Angeles. That game was minus 4.5, and that was last week, right? And we were on the Raptors, and we were happy, and it was a fairly easy cash. They got up real big easy, right, early, and then just kind of cruised on home. So even though it was only an 11-point win, it felt safer, I felt, the whole time. Now they run it back in Canada. I don't know, Tyler.
I gotta cut you off, Spread.
Yeah, go ahead.
We gotta double back to you talking about Cleveland and the curse and how it might be lifted. Deshaun Watson decides he wants to play for the Browns. Just the guy came across my phone.
Why?
That's what it says.
So you're like, okay, I could go to the NFC.
Here's the tweet from Scheffner. Deshaun Watson has decided he wants to play for the Cleveland Browns in a stunning change of events. Watson has informed the Texans that he is now willing to waive his no trade clause in a contract to be dealt to Cleveland. There's their quarterback spread. Welcome to the dark ages, Steelers.
This is ridiculous. So you could go to the NFC where your main competition is Tom Brady, who's my age. Dude's my age. And that's your main competition. You got Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be so happy after losing his best player.
I know it's an NBA rundown. How do we start this show and you not talk about you guys picking up one of the best receivers in the game?
Because I wanted to clown Kentucky.
He's like, I had other things on my mind.
I still can't believe that, man. Why would you want to go to the AFC? I don't care how good the Browns are. And who's even left? Jarvis Landry's a free agent, right?
They signed Cooper. He'll have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt behind him, the tight ends, a good offensive line.
I had a good Amari Cooper analogy too. Oh my gosh, I will have to come back to that. He was reminding me of someone. Okay, we'll get back to the NBA, but unbelievable news.
You know he's pulling the Russell Wilson effect too. Like the moment he signs, like here comes like 3 other guys that signed with the Browns, like how Randy Gregory and them guys did. So see how this all pans out.
Yeah, and there's probably a nice like massage therapist joke in there, but I can't find it off the top of my head. Let's move on. We were talking about the Lakers and the Raptors. Tyler and I basically detailed how the Raptors kicked the Lakers' butt just a week ago in Los Angeles. And I want to know, is there anything that would make it be different this time in Canada?
No. I mean, we talked about it last game with this team, and we were worried that -9 on Minnesota was a little too high. I'm going right back to it, spread. This team sucks. Give me Toronto -9. It's back in Toronto. We know what LeBron used to do to the city. I know some of these guys weren't on that team as that happened, but
they talked about it.
Yeah, they're going to beat the hell out of him in front of the city. They're going to wipe the floor with them. So I like the Gary Trent 3+ threes and win. I like the Fred VanVleet 20+ points and win. I like we the people's calling Scotty Barnes 18+ points and win. I would do the 20+ points and win too if they have 22. I would do 22. I don't hate the Siakam double-double, but every time I bet on him, he turns into a ghost, so I'm going to leave him alone. So for the most part, I'm targeting the guards, but yeah, Toronto's going to win.
Hey, so I'm not in a legal state. I'm in California. I use offshore books. Is there a LeBron 30+ and lose?
No, but you could do like the
hashtag stat chaser.
You could do like a same game parlay of that. Like LeBron, let's see. Well, they
I'm kind of doing it just for fun and to make the show more fun as we grind through this whole schedule. But I mean,
LeBron to score 30+, Toronto -9 gets you a 3-1.
But that's laying the 9. What about just the money line?
The money line gets you +150.
Oh, that's weak.
That's why I went with the -9.
Okay. Well, anyways, that's kind of just fun for content. Anything else more on the Lakers and the Raptors? I think I'll be happy to join in on a couple of heavy home favorites there. Anything more on that game?
Nope, that's it.
All right, let's move on. We don't need to mess around too much with this 12-game slate. Memphis Grizzlies are -5.5 heading to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. Hawks catching 5.5 at home. Tyler, this line was 2.5 last night. I was tempted at 2.5, but it wasn't up. It was only for you guys at FanDuel, but I'm thinking, boy, I can't wait for that to open. So my guess is that they think Trae Young's going to sit. That's how I see it. Why else does the line move 3 points?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. But when I seen this line this morning spread, it was -6 to Memphis, and it started coming back the other way, which made me think Ja was going to sit. So
my guess is that they thought 4 points was too much for Trae Young.
Okay, so my thinking process here is I gotta wait and make sure Ja's in the game. If he's in, just give me Memphis the whole way up to about -7, because I don't see how Atlanta keeps up with them. Their defense is better. They play a higher paced offense right now. it's Trae Young or bust for Atlanta, and all the other guys on Atlanta are going to have trouble. Like John Collins isn't going to be able to score on Jaren Jackson and Steven Adams. So it's like, and Kevin
Collins
Huerter
is out too, right?
He's not on this list, but he might
I
still
think
be
he
out. They
got
might have
moved.
took him
I
off.
hate how Basketball Monster does that.
Yeah, they take him off, and I think
especially
they're
if you've been watching college basketball or Indian Wells or PGA or whatever, right? For a couple days, it's like, sorry, bro, I don't have the whole injury report memorized. Like, I'm trying to pull it up when I handicap the game. Like, help me out, guys.
But yeah, I like Memphis here. I think they get the job done,
and
I like a shooting guards against Atlanta have killed this year. Desmond Bane 22 plus points. Desmond Bane 4+ threes is going to be the way I'm going to bet this, and for them to win in those performance doubles, because those will get you nice prices too. So that's how my approach to this game.
All right. You're heavy on Memphis. I'll tell you what, I loved it at 2.5. I thought the line was wrong there, and then to 5.5. And this is tough because normally, one of the advantages we have in the quote unquote superstar subtraction, a little handicap that I use, right, where we bet the team after the line moves when the star's sitting, is that the books over adjust or that the public will run it up even farther. Trae Young might be one of those guys that kind of, the rule doesn't apply to him because he does so much for the offense. And as talented as Atlanta's offense is, right? Like on paper, like, look, they got all these great scorers. You would think they would be better, but they don't really do good without him in the lineup. So that's an interesting situation there. Right now, this line tells me that the Trae Young sitting, Morant's playing. But if you also think which team can absorb the loss, let's say they both sit, Memphis absorbs the loss of Morant much easier than Atlanta absorbs the loss of Trae Young. You'd agree with that, right, Tyler? You unmute, Tyler?
Yeah, I was on mute. That's my fault.
Yeah,
but, 100%. I mean, Memphis, I think, has lost 2 games without Morant this year.
Yeah,
So they
were actually using
him.
that against him on MVP arguments.
Yeah, so I think they would be able to, if he sits, I think they could still win the game against Atlanta. To where if Trae Young sits, I'd be very surprised to see the Hawks beat Memphis without Trae Young.
Okay. All right, let's move into our next game. The Washington Wizards in New York taking on your Knicks. We're doing this again. Okay, I understood against the Blazers. Okay, I understood because you're like, okay, we're setting the line on the Blazers, not necessarily Knicks. Now the Knicks are laying -6 to the Washington Wizards on a total of 226 plus 204 for the Wizards on the money line. I mean, Tyler, are the Knicks ready to lay 6? So here, let me throw one interesting little fact about this game out here too. And I've said this before, right? We talked about it with the Pelicans and the Kings about a week ago. But this is another one of those de facto elimination from the play-in run, right? Atlanta currently 34, 35, 10th place, right? Washington is 29 and 39, 4.5 games behind. And New York is a full 5 games behind. So while it's not likely that either of them catches, whoever loses this game is definitely not going to catch the Atlanta Hawks. So maybe a little playoff atmosphere here. I don't know if that factors into your handicap as well. I would think, I mean, Tibbs were already getting them, but maybe some shorter rotations from Washington with it being a de facto elimination game. Regardless, I'm not ready to lay 6 with the Knicks. I'm not ready to take 6 with the Wizards. Leave me out of the promised land, man. This number seems wrong. It's telling me to take Washington, but I don't want to take Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Knicks win, but I don't want to lay that. So I went into the performance doubles and I looked at the matchups. Centers against Washington average about 17 rebounds over the last 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
We got to cross our fingers on this one spread and hope he can fucking stay out of foul trouble because we know he likes to just grab people. Mitch Robinson, 12 plus rebounds and win is plus
12 plus rebounds
is plus 340.
Okay, plus 340. That's good.
This dude can't grab 12 rebounds against Kristaps Porzingis, who's not going to be in the paint half the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's their big. So he should be able to feast down there. But as for the most part, other than that, I'm going to stay away from this game. No, it's just an ugly one. Like, I don't want to side with Washington. I also don't want to side with the Knicks. So other than the Mitchell Robinson props, I'm going to stay away from this one.
Okay.
And of course, we the people's calling RJ Barrett.
He's got 28 plus in the win. All right. And I like that. I like getting away from taking the 6 there. If it is a close game, do you think the Knicks win?
I think they can.
Okay.
I mean, who does Washington have to go to get that bucket late in the game? Kuzma?
Kristaps, the New York legend.
Yeah. Is this
Okay,
his
you're right.
revenge game?
Yeah, I just made your point for you. Let's go. The Indiana Pacers are -4 against the Houston Rockets. Rockets catching points at home. 243.5 is our total here. Very, very high total. Love to see that. Plus 150 for the Rockets. Plus 150 for a team that's 3-20 in their last 23 games straight up. You got to be kidding me, man. It should be higher than this. I don't care how bad the Pacers are. Pacers are bad. 3-7 in their last 10, right? So it's not like they're that much better. I don't know. Tyler. I don't want to take the Rockets. I just don't. Is this the time that they show out, have a great time, and beat up another crappy team?
It could be, but I'm not betting the side in this game, but this game screams prop central. So you look at some of the matchups, point guards and power forwards versus Indianapolis the last 30, 25 points, 3 threes, 9 assists for the point guards, 24 points, 11 rebounds for the power forwards, and 4 assists. Shooting guards versus Houston, because we all know Jalen Green still can't play defense. 26 points, 4 threes, 5 assists. So, of course, gravitate right towards the Jayshawn Tate over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. KPJ over 15.5 points. Buddy Hield over 3.5 threes. And then even take a shot on Jalen Green over 18.5 because he has been scoring the ball a lot better. And this could be a solid matchup for him. So I'm going to leave the side out and just bet props in this game.
All right, and we're not the DFS experts, but we talked to them enough to where we're somewhat versed and knowledgeable. Hield or Halliburton versus the Rockets on DraftKings. Halliburton's 9K, Hield 7,400. So right, we knew if it's like you can afford both, that you would take Halliburton. But I don't know, man. I even think he's 1,600 better, right? Because I feel like you can get both double digits in points and assists. Buddy is pretty much only going to get you stats from points. Of course, he gets the 3-point bonus there. But I think I'd rather pay the extra 1,600 for Halliburton and skimp on my lineup somewhere else. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that. I don't mind that because just like Buddy Hield seems too high at that price.
I wouldn't pay 7,400 for Buddy Hield.
Yeah, so if I had to play one of them, it would probably be Halliburton. But I think there's other options on this board that you can find at a little bit cheaper price and fill in your lineup with some better guys. So,
all right. And if you want those options, remember, head on over to runpuresports.com. Use that promo code GETBETS. Anything more from the Pacers and the Rockets?
Nope, that's it for me on that one. Straight props in that game.
This line keeps moving. The Thunder in Miami taking on the Heat. Total of 217. I mean, why aren't they called the humidity? Anyways, I'm sorry. Plus 1041 on the Thunder here. What's this injury report looking like? Is this just a market move?
That's pretty ugly.
But this isn't like the Blazers. This is a team that competes.
But
it's Shea. It's Shea.
SGA is questionable. Jimmy's questionable. PJ's questionable. Victor's already out. So I don't know about you, Spread. If SGA plays, I think the back door is open. But this game right here screams stay away from me. Because Miami should blow them out. SGA plays, they could keep it close and cover that spread. But at the same time, Miami is the team that could just wipe the floor with you. And I don't want to get involved with any of these player performance doubles and all of a sudden the second unit's playing the starter minutes because they're already up 30. So I'm just going to stay away from this one. So you
lean the Heat there because Butler and Caleb Martin are on the injury report as well.
Well,
I know Caleb Martin is matter. PJ Tucker, I don't know if that
lean
matters
to the Heat, but it's like I could see him blowing them out, but I also don't want to click that button. And then SGA plays and keeps it close. So it's like,
and Butler doesn't.
Yeah,
if I'm Miami and I think that I'm this number 1 seed and I'm going to win the East, should be able to beat the Thunder without Jimmy Butler, right?
Yep.
So, all right, let's see how that one goes.
Do they play tomorrow? No, they're not on a back-to-back. Neither team is. So,
but still, at this point, you're not even thinking about back-to-backs. You're thinking about let's get these guys as fresh as they can.
Well, that's what I mean. I want to see if anyone played tomorrow and see if Miami's like, we'll sit our guy tonight and let him play tomorrow.
Yeah, because as we the people's always preaching, they play too many games, right? Let these guys get some rest like Kyrie, and they'll drop 60 more often. Let's jump into the New Orleans Pelicans plus 1.5 in San Antonio taking on the Spurs. Total 237 plus 104 for the Pelicans. I see a lot of people loving the Pelicans here, right? I don't know why. The Spurs have beaten them twice this year already. They're in San Antonio. They've
I'm
been
pretty
home
sure
for a
they beat them
while.
before they started running this big lineup, though.
Okay.
Before
Like,
CJ got there.
maybe I'm underrating CJ McCollum still, right? I mean, maybe I am. I don't know. I still like San Antonio here. The market seems to like Pelicans. This was 2.5 last night. And I've talked to plenty of people that are very sharp that like the Pelicans. So what do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, give me the Pelicans here. 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 on the road. Spurs are 2-7 in their last 9, 1-4 in their last 5. Murray plays no defense against point guards. He's given up 31 points, 4 threes, 8 assists. CJ's going to have himself a game right here. I got to take the dog here. Give me Pelicans.
Oh, we're finally opposite.
I would take CJ 30 plus and win, CJ double and win, 4+ threes and win. And I don't hate the Joe Val call in the double and win on him. But yeah, give me Pelicans money line also.
You're going to download his podcast after you bet all those props? You're big on CJ tonight.
I mean, perfect matchup for him. DeJounte's not going to cover him at all.
In the annals of great NBA basketball tweets, where's "I'm trying Jennifer" from CJ McCollum? Do you remember that one?
Yeah, and then when he got traded, he like added her. He's like, "Sorry, Jennifer, couldn't get the job done."
She's like, "You talk a lot for someone who's never won a playoff series." I'm trying, Jennifer. All right. We the people likes Valanciunas double and the win, even though he likes DeJounte tonight. And I'm assuming you're talking about in DFS. I think DeJounte's going to have a big night. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. I think that, we talk about de facto elimination games in the East. Tyler, would you come close to considering this one as well? We got New Orleans at 28-41. I guess it's not elimination, but same idea here, right? New Orleans 28-41. They're in 10th, so I guess it's not an elimination, right? But if the Spurs are going to make that push, especially the way the Pelicans are playing, Spurs are 27-43, a game and a half behind. And don't look now, the Pelicans are actually only a game behind the Los Angeles Lakers, who are like 9-23 on the road this year, and they have like a majority of their games left on the road. So I could see the Pelicans catching them. I could even see the Spurs catching them if they take it seriously. I don't know if they are, but I think they're going to take tonight's game seriously. So we're on the opposite ends. Anything more on this one before we move on?
The only thing I wanted to touch on is kind of for DFS purposes. Mm-hmm. Looking at this injury report for the Pelicans, Alvarado questionable, Devontae Graham questionable. Both of those guys there is no backup guard for CJ, so he might be just loading up on points tonight spread. So might be a good DFS play. I'm definitely going to be betting his props tonight, though. And
if you send out a first rounder, man, you want to make that play in. So if you're going any night to run him out 42 minutes, it would be the night
it's right here, really yeah.
Put it to the guy that's one leg behind you in the standings, right? The Trailblazers are right there too, but I don't even talk about them. I don't even talk about them. I mean, they might as well be the Kings with how bad they're playing right now. 26-42. So same as the Spurs. Unbelievable here for how bad that team is playing. The Los Angeles Clippers in Utah taking on the Jazz. Jazz laying 5.5 here. Total of 213.5. Plus 196. Tyler's done a great job with this team, man. He's done a great job, right? But I mean, this whole idea where he's the Pied Piper with his merry band of role players, man, I think it's kind of coming to an end. Like, how long can they pull this off for? Now you get a Utah team that's motivated, right? Because I know that like lots of Jazz players watch this show. They have to do it with burners so they don't get in trouble with the league, right? But they never hear us talk about them as contenders, nor on any other shows either. So I think this is kind of a motivated team, especially at home. I'll take the Jazz at home. Utah's a tough place to play. I looked it up, Tyler, 4,200 feet elevation.
Did you look at the injury report?
I did last night. Did it change? Oh, now the line makes sense.
I did the same
now
thing.
Now this freaking line makes sense.
I did the same thing. I looked at the game on the board. I said, that's going to be my best bet. And then went to the injury report, and I said,
what does
maybe
he do?
not.
I guess the idea, right? Almost like I said with Miami. Although the Clippers are way better, so I actually never mind. That doesn't.
You're taking a guy off the floor that shoots the ball like 35 times this spurt.
And the only guy who can really create in the half court. Well,
yeah.
Jordan Crawford, but then you have that terrible defense.
Yeah, so I mean,
Walker, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Now we know why they made that trade, Tyler. Remember, didn't it seem kind of weird?
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah,
All right.
see, Nick didn't even know. He's like, oh, fuck, Mitchell's out.
Unbelievable.
Nobody's seen it coming. He's been playing healthy. So it's like when you pops up on an injury report out, it's like, wait a minute.
Now the line's perfect.
Yeah,
It makes sense. There goes the edge.
Yeah, I'm mostly going to stay away from this game, but Utah at home, just like we've always talked about, they're a different animal at home. They should be able to get this job done.
Yeah.
Gobert should absolutely feast this game. Just give me the double-double and win.
All right. What about Clarkson? I know he's points only, but he might have to be in a lot of DFS lineups tonight.
I mean, he could, but the thing is he's either going for 40 or he's going 2 for 40 shooting. So,
well, at least he's going to chuck, as Mangum would like to say. Man, all right. Well, there goes that one, man. That was my big edge. I love that game a lot. I got one more big edge coming up, Tyler, but it's not this one.
You're going to steal mine. I know it.
Yeah, we're on the same one. But you get to go first, so you can have that. You can make me work. Boston Celtics in Sacramento. They're my hometown. The Celtics were here on St. Patrick's Day. How cool is that? Kings plus 9.5, total 224.5, plus 380 on the money line. So Tyler, if you run the numbers, as good as Boston's been playing, it's going to tell you to take the Kings at home. I don't want to.
Not with the Aaron Fox questionable on that injury report. He doesn't play. They ain't got a chance.
I was just assuming he'd play.
Yeah, so
if he's out, I think this line
the people's already on it. Time Lord double and win. He's gonna absolutely feast on this front court.
I mean, can you imagine? We already have like one of the worst defensive point guards.
Shooting guards also beat you guys up spread. So
everybody beats us up. Who's our good defender? Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, Davion Mitchell.
Old. He's not even as good as he was 4 years ago. Yeah, Davion Mitchell, who plays 15 minutes and has the second worst true shooting percentage in the whole NBA.
You were happy about him the first week they traded for him.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I was okay. He could get better too. We'll see. I actually wanted the Mitchell Halliburton backcourt, so I guess I'm not that anti Davion Mitchell, but I'm obviously pretty frustrated with this team, this franchise, and the worst owner in the history of pro sports, Vivek Ranadive. All right, so you're fading him, huh?
Take the shots with Boston here, first half full game, especially after what we seen the last time these two teams matched up spread. Boston was up by like 30 by halftime.
They won by 53 points.
Yeah, I'd really hate to sit here and be like, 8 seems a bit too much, and then they wipe the floor with them again. So I'm on Boston this time. I think their defense kicks in. Sacramento has no answer for them. Boston just slowly opens this game up until they're up 20.
I mean, fortunately, we were smart enough not to bet the Kings in Boston. I'm just saying Kings were at home. Celtics. I mean, St. Patrick's Day is pretty cracking in Sacramento, Tyler. All right. On that note, let's get to the next game. Chicago Bulls plus 5.5, heading to Phoenix to take on the Suns. 231.5 is the total, plus 199 for the Chicago Bulls. That's not a money line I'm going to take. I think Phoenix smashes them, man. It's the same handicap we used on Wednesday night. You got a Chicago team that struggles on defense on a West Coast road trip, playing against an excellent team. But I think the Suns, even without Chris Paul, are better than the Jazz. So I like the Suns. I think same handicap as Wednesday night.
Yeah, I mean, we've been here before. Here we are again. Chicago versus a good team. Probably the best team in the West right now. They're like 2-13 straight up against these teams with 60% winning percentage or better. Yeah, Phoenix wipes the floor with them tonight spread. Yeah. They have no answer for Booker. He just eats them up. Booker over his points plus assists.
Booker and LaVine's going to be a pretty sick battle.
Yeah, it should be a nice one, but I think Booker gets the better of him.
Well, because I would argue that LaVine was going to put on a show, but does he seem 100% since that knee injury?
No.
Yeah. I think that's another issue.
I would take his 30+ and win, and the 4+ threes and win, and then play the 7 with Phoenix.
Well, you were talking earlier about Booker's assists, right, as him taking over more ball handling duties. Do you think that's still a viable route to go?
I don't like taking the assist just straight up. I do the points plus assist, the combo.
Oh, okay.
So you get it right in the 33 to 36 range.
I like that. That's kind of just like a usage bet.
Yeah, think about it when you bet
high usage.
Well, he's gonna if he gets you 30 points, like he could fall into the assist for you. Or he might just keep racking up the points where you don't even need the assists.
Yeah, no, it's awesome because if they double them, then you're going to get the assists. If they don't double them, then you're just going to go nuts, and you should get it either way. You're just betting.
It's also a spot where Ayton could just bully Vucevic, so he might just be dumping it off down low all game.
I think that's a huge advantage matchup, especially on the defensive end of the floor. We the people don't listen to this part, but DeAndre Ayton is so much better at rim protection than Vucevic. These guys are going to be able to get right past him, get whatever they want at the rim. And another thing, man, DeMar DeRozan, man, how long can he keep pulling off this magic, man? I mean, he's been carrying this team for a while. He's not a younger guy. So, all right, what do you think of Knicks? This is a different, interesting angle. Bridges 6+ rebounds and win.
I don't hate it. I mean, Bridges does play like 40+ minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, if I'm going to bet him, it's part of the rebounds route, because anytime I bet his points, he just doesn't want to shoot the ball, and he's just more on like the defensive end. And this is a spot where like he could just dive in on those balls when they go towards the rim and just snag a bunch of rebounds. So I don't hate that one, especially if you're getting a nice price on it.
And Cam Johnson's out, a little bit
more. Jay Crowder's also questionable.
Yeah. Jay Crowder, man, that guy just wins. He's like Robert Horry kind of.
Except that time he was in Cleveland.
Yeah, that one time. All right, that's it. We did a pretty good job here, Tyler, on a 12-game slate. So, any more notes on this that I missed? Oh, I had one. Robert threw in the chat. Sacramento has been really good in the first half, and that makes so much sense, Robert, right? Because you can't blow leads if you don't get leads, right? And the Kings love to blow leads, so that makes a lot of sense. He's talking about Payne. What about Cam Payne tonight here in this one? He liked that 3+3s and win. You like Cam Payne tonight?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, in a great matchup with Chicago, he doesn't guards very well, so he could definitely kill him right here. But I'm going to side with Booker, the guy I know who's going to get the most usage on that team.
Yeah, so you're telling me Kobe White and Zach LaVine don't defend guards very well?
Nope.
All right. And Nick DePalmo's got it. Russo, where are you at? Because it is time for the best bets. Tyler, what's your best bet today? Side, total, or prop? I can already guess. So
I'll leave the side I'll leave the side on the table for you. Give me Brooklyn -14.5. They're gonna wipe the floor with the Portland team.
How kind are you?
And then as for a prop, give me Devin Booker over 30. Let me see exactly what the number is, but the last few games it was 33.5. It is points plus assist, 33.5. Give me Devin Booker over his points plus assist.
And what's just the points and what's just the assist? Just so I have an idea on that one.
His points are
27 and 6, I guess.
Yeah, 27.5, and the assists are 5.5.
I like that. I really like that. You're just betting usage, man. I think that's a great way to approach some of these guards, especially when you think there is a prospect of them getting double teamed. But are the Bulls really going to double team? Does Billy Donovan do anything? I mean, is he like Calipari in the pros?
Yeah, he stinks as a coach. I was saying that when he was in OKC and he couldn't get it done. So
the weird thing is, like, I don't think he's bad. I just don't think he's good.
I think he's a place-holding coach. Like he's not going to win you a championship, but he's also not going to bottom you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he understands how to run practices. I think he understands how to communicate with his players. I think that he's going to get at least their level of expectation. He's not going to allow the team to blow up, right? He's managing personalities. He's doing some of that other stuff. But X's and O's wise, I don't really see him doing a lot, right? And I guess player development you could give him, right? Because he's coached a lot of stars, and a lot of them started with him when he was young. So I guess for player development, but I'm talking in-game coaching. I'm not really that impressed. Monty Williams, on the other hand,
great
coach. How could you not be impressed with that guy? Yeah, so I think that helps a lot. Everybody knows that my best bet is going to be Phoenix -5.5 there, especially since Tyler gave me the news on the Jazz. And so, guys, I apologize for not realizing that before we started the show. We did have a 12-game slate, and I was running over some Indian Wells this morning. We the People's been doing great. And he says my best bet is Drummond double and the win. Tommy David Walker is a big Chicago coach fan. I'm sorry. How did I forget his name right now? I am getting Alzheimer's. Whoever said that yesterday. Billy Donovan, big Billy Donovan fan in the chat. No, I'd say he's average. Tyler's a little lower on him, but that's how these things go. All right, Tyler, we did it. What an effective show, man. Plenty of time for these guys to rest before the Hardwood Live show starts. Please give us a thumbs up, like the video, share with your friends. Tyler, words of wisdom before we get out of here.
Yeah, we're going to get that parlay out spread.
Oh yeah, I am forgetting everything. You know why, Tyler? Because I've been like lazy in the evenings, so I've been getting up at like 3 or 4 to start my prep, 3 or 4 a.m. And by this time, I'm like, oh man, I'm pretty tired. Yeah, there you are, Chris W. He was the one that mentioned that I need those Alzheimer's checkups. So thank you, Beyonce. All right, what you got there, Tyler?
As for tonight, we're going to take the Devin Booker 30+ and Phoenix wins as the first leg.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic double-double and Denver wins as the second leg.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Williams double-double and win is the third leg for Boston. Mm-hmm. That right there gets you 16 to 1. Mm-hmm. I don't hate adding in a Gary Trent 3+3s in Toronto wins.
I love when you get a guy that we didn't talk about for the full show.
Which bumps you all the way up to 37 to 1. So that's going to be the parlay for tonight, those 4.
What do you think about running it twice? You get the safe one and then the Gary Trent as the bonus.
You could do that and add the Gary Trent in as just like the over the top, see if you get there too.
Yeah. The U's up by 11 at the half.
We like to see
comments on that.
No, we took them to win the championship at like 200 to 1.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to see what your comments were. All right, Tyler, great parlay. Can we get 3 in a week?
Hopefully.
That would be unprecedented here. So, normally I would say it's impossible, but the way you've been running, the way you've been picking these games, breaking it down, putting in the work, I wouldn't be surprised if we did it again. So, Tyler, thank you very much for joining me, helping me out when I miss things on the injury report, and just generally having a good time talking basketball with me. I want to thank the chat for hanging out as well. We always appreciate you guys adding to the show. We will be back on a Monday, same time, 3:30 Eastern. Run Pure.